7:45 here on this Friday morning wake-up call. It's time for Friday the Fuzz, so I'll toss it right over to Mr. Michael Green.
Thank you, Derek. In studio with us today is Elgin's Chief of Police, Jeff Swoboda. And thank you for coming in, Jeff. You brought in a guest with you. Who did you bring in today?
Yeah, well, good morning. Chad Van Mastreit is with us. Chad is senior patrolman of our crime-free housing unit, and we were talking a little bit about Halloween to start, and then we're going to feed into how Elgin handles sex offenders and some of the intricacies of the sex offender program. And there's some new technology that we're going to be using to help track where sex offenders live. And so when we got this new technology, Chad contacted me and said, hey, I know the Friday morning radio show is going on. I really want to come on. And I think he called me 3 times asking to come on the radio show, and then we were finally able to get him on today. So I'm joking.
I'm sure. I absolutely love it.
I had to push him a little bit to come on. Commander Anna Lally was talking with him. So Chad's kind of the expert within the police department, along with the crime-free housing unit. Sergeant Santiago, who heads it up, and then Chad and the rest of the guys are the group that track where the sex offenders are living and making sure that we don't have any issues with registration. And as we're coming into Halloween, there's some laws that apply with sex offenders. So we thought it'd be a great time to have Chad on, and appreciate him coming in to talk with us.
We will get to that very quickly, but I wanted to talk first because I think it starts tonight is the Nightmare on Chicago Street, and just what that involves with the Elgin police, and what, I guess, kind of information you want to give out to the public about that, about remaining safe, what you can and can't bring there to this evening. Maybe Chad can get into who can't show up there, other things like that. If there's going to be kids around, or I don't know how that all works, but we can maybe get into that. But what's going on with the Nightmare on Chicago Street?
Yeah, lots going on. In fact,
so that's just an absolute headache for you?
No.
As well as good? I mean...
No, well, actually, I'm saying this is going to be the first one that I'm going to miss. I'm not going to be in town to be able to
It's the first one I'm attending.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, that's why he's not going.
I know.
Yeah.
This has become one of the premier events of the city of Elgin.
It is.
And it's just a great time. I mean, it is a lot of fun to be downtown Elgin and see the different bands that are going on. And we've got information. Barb from the city, who's helped put it on, really spearheaded this going back a few years. But it's really been a team effort, getting people who travel here from out of state to come to this, because I think over the summers everyone always has a different party, right? And there's different bands playing at different places, and so sometimes you're lining up against somebody else's festivals, so you don't get a great pull. But in this one, I think what she realized was nobody was really having something like this. And at the time, there was the zombie thing starting. I think it was probably the Walking Dead was getting going a few years back. All these things kind of coming together, and so the city of Elgin, thinking down the road a little bit, so let's have this big party.
In both feet,
and man, yeah. It is just, I don't know how many, but I was just at an event last night. People were talking about they were having trouble getting tickets. But I know there are still tickets out there, and so you can still go. A lot of not-for-profits are selling the tickets, and then they get a percentage of the money. But it'll be a packed house in downtown Elgin on Saturday, and the weather says it's going to be pretty nice.
Yeah,
so
nice.
It'll be cool in the evening. But the bars, the restaurants, everyone in downtown, I think, usually has one of their best nights of the year as far as business, and so it's just a winner for everybody. And it's not really a headache. We've got this down. We have a special events team that works on these really under Jeff Adam, the lieutenant of special events, and then works with our traffic sergeant and Sergeant Kevin Senny, who they do a great job with putting these together. The nice thing is it's when things move, that's when it's a problem. Like, hey, this year let's have Nightmare on Chicago Street and Wing Park. And then it would be a headache, because now it's like, okay, let's change everything up again.
Now how do we do this now?
Right.
Because we've got this other stuff down.
Exactly. So now that we've got it, we know where the barricades are in the city, and especially under Barb from the City Hall, they've got it locked down. All the volunteers they have around the community. It's just it's truly a community event, and just going to be an awesome time. Sad I'm going to miss it.
Any special organization or planning that goes into it, other than Lieutenant Adam, and his department and division? Do they just kind of run with it, or how does he organize everybody in there? I mean, does it make it difficult for patrol? Does it make it difficult for traffic violations, or nothing?
No, we'll have issues at any event we have. Somebody will maybe drink a little bit too much. We might have a scuffle or two. We might have to ask somebody to leave. That type of stuff. But especially something like this, it's very organized getting in and getting out. So there's only certain entrances. And when I talked about Jeff Adam, we do it from the security side. We do a security plan. Commander O'Shea reviews all those. So we do that side. The real credit goes to City Hall and Barb and her team. And I don't know how many volunteers they have. I heard rumors that, producers from TV shows such as potentially Walking Dead, like looking at what we're doing and maybe coming out doing an interview with a person or two to see what we're doing in other cities or trying to get something like this going. So from our standpoint, it's kind of normal. We have a lot of police officers that'll be down there working it, and but for the most part, it's a pretty orderly event. Have you worked at Chad in the past?
I did. I worked it last year, and it was a win-win. I know that Public Works, Aaron Neal and Brazil Hardy, play a pivotal role in it. Community restitution program. They do a lot of setting up. So it's not only just a police department. It's the Public Works. They're huge. Without them, we couldn't get it done. The event was fantastic. It was a little cold last year, but the bands, like Chief Sabota was saying, they're out of this world. It's very controlled. There's a lot of places to park, and then everybody walks into the downtown. Access is controlled, through entry points, and it's just fun for everybody. It's a good time.
Yeah, he mentioned, especially Aaron Neal. I think we've thrown him out a few times as far as a rock star within the city.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy. I mean, whether it's the races that we're putting on, the 5Ks that are going, which remind me, maybe I'll mention it now. 5K on the morning of, and that's sponsor. All the money goes, or not. I'm not sure all the money, but a portion of it, I guess, goes to the Boys and Girls Club. So as an event. This other night for the Boys and Girls Club, and they were very excited that many people are signing up to do a 5K Saturday morning. So please sign up on that and go to the Boys and Girls Club website. I know the city has a whole page based on this weekend. So, but yeah, Public Works, and like I said, I want to make it very clear. We do a little bit with security, but this is not our event. This is like I said, Barb runs with this, but again, Public Works. I agree. There's so many people that get involved in it. It's it'll be a fantastic time. So I'm sure, Derek, are you gonna dress up? Or?
Oh yeah, I got a costume and everything for it.
Got
So
a costume?
we got 2 booths we're running through the station. So
Okay.
and I'm running one of them.
He's wearing his costume right now.
Wearing a costume.
Yes.
All right.
It's like 1890s style.
Going as a zombie.
I'm gonna go up and trying to. I'm dead.
Nice. Well, one of the things you kind of talk about what you can and can't bring in, I think it's listed on the website, but I know with some of the costumes, the sword really does go with it, and it makes it, the costume look that much better with a real sword. Those types of things won't be allowed to be in, large sword. If somebody's costume has something weird, exactly. We don't want to see weapons out there, and so kind of use your head. But if you need to refer to the website, it has some of the information on there as far as what you can and can't bring in. But everybody's gonna have a fantastic time, and it'll be, I'm sure. I think this is our 4th or 5th year maybe that this has been going on. So
Sounds all right.
yeah, I know they were setting up yesterday. I was walking down to a restaurant yesterday in downtown Elgin and came across some bloody shoes and saw them then setting up, and they were getting some of the different.
I had to look twice this morning when I saw one of the windows boarded up across the street. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nightmare in Chicago Street. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of graffiti
I had to
too,
think
but-
about it.
yeah.
Such a neat event. So yep, it should be a great time.
And then Halloween, we'll talk more about that next week, but it kind of rolls into that. So busy couple of weeks coming up. Brought Chad in, and Chad Van Mastreit. Chad, maybe just tell us what division or department you're over, and just kind of like a real brief overview of what the responsibilities are. And you said there's a new program which we talked about before we came on here, and I'm very interested in hearing more about it because it's something that I don't understand that, and as a parent, and just even if I wasn't a parent, it's near and dear to me because it's scary.
Sure. Well, I'm the senior patrolman of the resident officer program of Elgin, and we've taken it upon ourselves here at the police department. We were assigned all the sex offenders in the city of Elgin, which on any given day could be about 110, give or take 5, at any different period. There's 5 of us in the unit with the resident officer program. That's Officer Engelke, Officer Farrell, Officer Mendiola, Officer Hartman, and Officer Snow, myself, and we're all in charge of checking on the sex offenders. And what we do, recently we just got a new software program called Offender Watch, and this software program is a nationwide software information sharing program in which 5,000 police departments across the country all put their data into this. 110 of those agencies are in Illinois, and we're just starting to get this ball rolling here in Illinois and getting it out there with Offender Watch. The good thing about the software that is paid for by a grant through the Attorney General, so it was free to the taxpayers in the city of Elgin. And when they told me it was free, I said, well, can I get 2 versions of the software? Everybody knows how cheap I am. So, but they said, well, it'll do the same thing. We could give you 3 copies, but essentially we share the data between each other. So the cool thing about it is if we had, say, an incident, a suspicious guy walking into a convenience store or something, and we are looking for somebody that could possibly be a sex offender in the city of Elgin or the state of Illinois, and we had his description, say, whatever, hypothetically, male, white, between the ages of 35 and 40, who drives a red Ford Ranger pickup truck. Not only can we share the data within Elgin, I can search the data through the state of Illinois, and I can search the entire country for all the agencies that are on this software. So the information sharing is huge.
How would that have been done prior to the software?
It would take somebody to go back to the police department, pull all of our data, sit down at a computer, instead of just going on your smartphone, maybe getting on the website and searching this. You would have to sit down there, then you would have to call the local police department and say, hey, what do you guys have? This is what I got. Could you check into this for me? And it could be a whole day's worth of work. So now we could check it within 10 minutes instead of 10 hours.
Now, this would cover any sex offender that would have to register, right? So are there times when somebody may be convicted of a sex offense where they don't have to register? Or is anybody who's arrested for that, or not arrested, but I guess convicted, then has to register? And I know there's a couple different registration types, but...
Yeah, great question. Yes, if you are convicted of a sex crime in the state of Illinois, and there's other crimes that most people don't even know about. I recently took this over and started delving into it and tried to make myself a resident expert on it, and it takes a long time, but there's other things such as kidnapping and unlawful restraint, which could also make you a sex offender, and you're required to register by law, so we have that. There's something new that just came about. It's called the Violent Offender Against Youth, and that's essentially we are tracking convicted murderers and anybody that commits a crime against a child.
Yeah.
And Jim Lally and the USA team has headed that up, and right now we only have about 21 violent offenders against youth that we track, and then, like I said, about 110 sex offenders that we're responsible to check up on every year. And with Halloween coming up, I'm sure we're going to talk about it a little bit next week, but our Halloween hours are from 4 to 7. Sometime this week and next week we'll be going out and we'll be talking and checking up on our sex offenders. We ensure that all the information that they supply is accurate, such as the vehicles that are driven, make sure that they still live there. Where they work, they're responsible for providing a phone. If they go to a college, they have to tell us that they go to a college, or if they're going to school, if they go to school. And we check to verify that it's accurate.
You know, we're all of the same age, and it seems to me that, and I've said this to Jeff so many times, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I didn't know that there were that many, and I don't think that there's more sex offenders now, or more of certain types of crimes that are happening now. There's just more knowledge of it, or it's more in the open about it. This is a great tool for so many people, not just police, obviously, but to be able to go to your smartphone or go to a website, or I think on yours you said you can get email alerts that if somebody moves into a certain area that you'll be notified.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's a big part. Yeah, I want you to know that.
Well, what's good for us internally, the data sharing and whatnot, but what's good for the citizens and to be able to, we've had a portal that's linked to our software system that we use every single day. It's updated in real time. It's available 24/7. We're going to be putting a link this morning on our city website through the police department. So cityofelgin.org, navigate to our police department website. We'll have a link there. And what you can do is you can click on that link, and it will open the Offender Watch software program, which is open to the public. And then when they look at it, they could enter their particular address or their business or where they work, or say you're a teacher somewhere and you want to put your school in and you want to see what's going on around your school. And then once you have that, you can look at that information, and then you can also set it and forget it, technically. You could enter an email address if you'd like, and you could pick your home address, 123 Main Street, and a year from now, if a sex offender moves next to you or within this geographic parameter that you've set up, you'll get an auto alert, and then you can check into them. And then there's various levels of what a sex offender is. There could be anything from the Romeo and Juliet type love thing to, you know, the bad stuff you see on TV. So knowledge is power, and if you have it, you'll be better armed. And we work together with the police department. I work with citizens. I get phone calls all the time of, hey, can you check into this for me? Here's what I've understood. There's a sex offender living next to me, and I understand he's from another town. So could you check into this? And that's how we share information and make it a safer community.
And parents are involved. I mean, I know I received some calls a few weeks back and reference a school and, you know, information that maybe a sex offender was living too close to a school. So yeah, you can come to it through our website, or you can go through the state of Illinois, and there's a whole list of everything from solicitation of a sex act of a child to, as we talk about, kidnapping. There's a list of probably 20 or 25 different offenses that somebody could have to register for. And it's very specific, is spelled out, like how long you have to register for life, for a number of years. And then also, so you have somebody living in Elgin or living some other city, then they're moving to Elgin. They have to let the city that they're at know that, hey, I'm moving, and then when they come to Elgin, have to register with us. Any place you're living for at least 3 days,
I was just
you
going to
have
ask you
to.
how long you
So you can't say, oh no, I'm just staying with friends. But if you're staying at a place for more than 3 days, you have to come down and register with the police department. You come down, we get all your information, we take your fingerprints, and it's all on the website. And Chad hit it on the head. Knowledge is power. So parents, anybody in the neighborhood, can go on these websites, look at it, see where you live, where you work, the park your kids go to. All those things you can look on the map, see if there's anybody around, and especially before we go out on Halloween and trick or treat, because sex offenders, not sure if you specifically said it, Chad, I think you alluded to it, that they can't participate in Halloween, they can't give out candy, they can't leave their lights on with a bowl of candy. So knowing that, okay, and if you see that going on, knowing that this house has a registered sex offender, you see kids going up and forth, call us, because they can't be doing it. So with everything we do, we're trying to just get all the residents as much information as they can have, so that we have another safe Halloween, but even more so, just continue to stay on top of these.
Chad, if you can maybe just cover again how residents could get information about the program, or is there a specific website? I know you said that there's be a link on the city website, but is there a particular website now they can go to that I can go to?
Yes, you can go to the Illinois State Police and just Google Illinois State Police sex offenders. You go to their website, you log in, and you can search any city in the state of Illinois. And then if you just type in Elgin, you can get all 110-ish, sex offenders that we have registered at any given time. So you have that. That will also give you the very basic rudimentary information as far as what they were convicted of, and then it'll show the age of the victim and the age of the offender at the time of the offense.
And real quick too, crimereports.com too. So that's got one. It's got the entire map of the city, and there's little symbols for where the sex offenders are living, and so you can pull up the whole city of Elgin and just see it as a snapshot, or like Chad said, you can get more information through the state's website. So a lot of great information, and Crime Free Housing Unit, the ROPE program, they've taken this on, probably going on probably more than a year, maybe 2 years, and have just done a fantastic job. Police department's always taken this extremely serious. It's important that we stay on top of knowing. Just making sure all residents know if they have a sex offender living next door. I mean, that's important knowledge to have. So these guys have done a fantastic job keeping track, because it's a lot. As Chad says, it changes every day. You might have 105 today, somebody move in, you might have 107 tomorrow, it might go down to 93 after that. And so we check them more than once a year. The state law talks about how often you have to check them, but we actually do it twice a year where we're going out. And even because some live in the resident officer neighborhoods, they do routine contact and just stop by, and the goal is that there's no more offenses going on. So that's what we're trying to do.
I think you said it best. Knowledge is power. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for coming in. Have a great weekend with Nightmare on Chicago. Did you have anything else you wanted to bring out, Chad?
No, I appreciate you having me. I do truly like coming in here. This radio lifestyle that you guys live is
it's
fantastic. Crazy. I love it. If we could do this show maybe around noon.
Sure.
Or tape delay, that would be fantastic. I do love live radio, and I want to thank Commander Anna Lally. I'd be remiss if I didn't, because she told me that I wouldn't get any more overtime if I didn't thank her.
Okay.
But with her, she helped me develop this offender watch and get it up and running, and make sure that we got it in a timely fashion and got it kicked off before Halloween. So thanks, Anna, and thanks, Frank Trust.
Excellent. You guys have a great weekend.
Hey, you guys too.
We will. You're listening to AM 1410, WRMN.
In Elgin.